Jack DeJohnette says you were youthful. So,
Youthful?
youthful,
Why did he say that?
just now.
Come on, just now. Really?
Yeah.
Can I hear that? Something good.
So, one of the things that I've always done with myself is I imagine I'm in my house practicing drums, and there's a knock on the door. I go to the door, and standing there is Charlie Parker, or you. And I go, what are you doing here? And you go, well, I just came over to hang. So I go, okay, come on in. Show you to the living room, offer you some water or some food, Mouton Rothschild, whatever. And you say, I'll tell you anything you want to know about music, about life, anything. What do you want to know? And it's kind of like, here you are in my living room now. It's, I'm a little bit blown away. It's actually happening, that idea I had in my head. So there are a bunch of things I personally want to know. I know there's probably things you guys want to know that aren't the same as what I want to know. But I'd like to start by asking how you've managed to stay so young. Do you work out? Do you do yoga? Do you do acupuncture? Is it just a frame of mind? Is it genes?
Which question should I answer first?
Is it a frame of mind?
I don't know. I don't think about it often. Every now and then, now that you mention it, when somebody mentions something about the way you look, or something like that, then I think about it. Other than that, I just keep going.
So you don't do anything special?
Not that my son Craig, where's Craig?
Over here.
Craig, do you think I do something special?
No, it's just a matter, it's all in the head, it's all in the mind.
So, that's my oldest son Craig, who plays drums. I figured I'd check with him to see what he did.
We were talking just a minute ago about this idea of knowing songs. I've heard from many different sources that you know a lot of tunes, that you know the lyrics to songs, that you can sing the melodies. And you asked me when I said that to you, who told you that? And no one person did. It's just, when I was growing up, there's folklore about you, about the people from the time of jazz that we all listen to and admire and try and learn from. So I've always thought that that was an important part of how you express music, is knowing the song really well. So I wanted to ask you, is that really true? Is the folklore right?
Now you say you thought that what? That it was, say it again?
That you know thousands, millions of songs.
I do know about lyrics, yeah. That's just something that I've been doing, most of my life. Lyrics to even the old corny tunes that I would hear on the radio, I just like that. It's not that I know all of them, or I know a lot of them. And I still, if I hear a melody with lyrics that I can remember, regardless if it's being sung by, whomever, whatever style they have or something, it's catchy. It's nothing that I try to do, it's just natural. Lyrics.
Right.
Yeah.
Does it affect you? Does it affect the way you play?
I don't know. I don't think about it. Okay. Maybe it does. People have said, lyrics. I guess it has a lot to do with syllables and I'm just assuming, I don't really know, like, dot, 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 come to me, dot, 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 dot. Why do you look so good? You
Do you find yourself singing along the lyric when you're playing a tune?
know? No. Maybe if I'm playing a ballad, I played with one of the greatest vocalists from 1953 to 1958, which was Sarah Vaughan. And to me, like some people say, well, you're a drummer, why did you stay with a singer for that length of time, 5 years? Some people say, oh, maybe you're going to lose this, or you might lose that. After the 5 years, I came out and I was cool as I ever was. And that was in the 50s. Next.
This is more of a straight-up musical question, but the way that you play drums, you break up the rhythm. You phrase over the bar line. You did that early on in your playing, maybe before other people were doing it. And I say maybe only because I don't know everything. I don't know all of those people. You would know that. That's a question I want to know. Are you the first one to do that?
That's a hard question to answer because I don't think I'm the type of person that would say I'm the first one to do anything. But I may have been one of the first, people my age or even some of the people before me. In fact, when I was very young, when I first started playing, some of the older players in the band would say, a drummer is not supposed to break the rhythm or break the time. They used to have little things, growing up in Boston, it was kind of strict, some of the older players and things that they believed. But my feeling was to do whatever I felt, so long as it would fit, was still flowing, because when they would say a drummer is not supposed to do this or a drummer is not supposed to break the rhythm. In other words, if you're playing something like this type of ding, ding, da, ding, ding, da, ding, ding, da, ding, sure, it can break the rhythm. So long as whatever you do is going to be within that rhythm and the people that you're accompanying or whom you're playing with can understand that. That's my feeling was, that's cool. Because the rhythm's supposed to be within us, not necessarily on the rhythm, the instrument, whatever we play. The feeling of that is supposed to come from us, from our heart and soul, from the way we feel. So that was the way I felt initially, and the way I still feel.
When you played like that originally, and when you still do now, do you, I'm going to rephrase it, when you're following the form of a song, when you're playing a tune and you're inside the form, are you thinking about how are you keeping track of the form for yourself? Are you hearing the harmony of the song go by? Are you hearing the melody? Are you just feeling phrases?
Well, sometimes I don't think about that consciously, but naturally, I feel that, it's in my body, in my feeling, regardless if I'm thinking about it or really concentrating on it or not. The thing is, a drummer, they used to say, is supposed to keep the time, supposed to keep the tempo. And they would always say, you're not supposed to bring the tempo up or let it down. You're supposed to try to keep it even. But we are not metronomes. If we think in terms of dip, 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 no, that ain't gonna work. That's stiff. you gotta, my feeling is to let it flow. You know, you can bring it up a little bit. You know, that's naturally. Your heart does not always stay the same. You know, sometimes, one time I made that statement. I said, your heart fluctuates. And somebody said to me, well, you better see a doctor. I said, well, man, you know, I don't know, music, sometimes it's gonna get a little faster. It's not gonna stay like I mentioned. It's gonna vary a little bit. My feeling is, so long as it doesn't vary too much, you know, get much faster than we started it out, you know. But a lot of that now may be even popular today. Somebody may start a song and they may just want it to get a little faster. You know?
Do you remember the first music you heard as a child? Like what inspired you musically in the beginning?
The first music I heard as a child, that's a hard question, man. Sorry to say.
That's one of the hard questions. Well, I guess the question really is, was your musical influence coming from what your parents listened to when you were growing up in your house? Was it outside your house, just what you heard?
It was from what I was hearing and what I felt, I think. You know. Ever since I can remember, I had the feeling too. I felt like that ever since I can remember. I should do this.